Wisdom Beyond Wise presents How to Start Up a Conversation with Anyone. We've all been there. New city, new job, new school, and not a single friendly face in sight. Making new friends as an adult can feel like a daunting task. But what if I told you there's a simple 5-step process that can help you turn strangers into lasting friendships? It sounds too good to be true, but I've used this method to meet people all over the world during my travels. So let me walk you through exactly how it's done. Proximity and eye contact. The first step is to identify who you can actually approach for a conversation. You don't want to be that weirdo bothering someone deeply engrossed in work or a book. Instead, keep an eye out for two key things: proximity and eye contact. Proximity means the person is fairly close by, within conversational distance of just 1 or 2 meters or so. It's close enough that you don't need to shout, but not so close that you're invading their personal space. Good places to look are people in elevators, on public transport seated near you, or those waiting in lines. Eye contact is that subtle acknowledgement that someone has noticed your existence. Maybe they glanced your way for just a split second. That tiny moment of eye contact is like a green light signaling they are open to being approached. So let's say you're at a coffee shop and notice someone within a couple meters away. They're on their phone, not totally absorbed, and happen to briefly look your way. Boom! You've got a potential candidate to try striking up a conversation with. Which brings us to the opener. Where are you from? This is the line I use almost every single time to initiate a conversation with a stranger. It's simple, non-threatening, and works incredibly well. After all, we all come from somewhere originally. If you're in an area where people are ethnically diverse, it allows you to learn something new about them. In my hometown, there's people from every corner of the globe, so I always ask directly, "Where are you from?" In more homogeneous towns or cities, you can modify it to, "What part of town are you from?" I can't recall ever getting a negative reaction to this opening question in the thousands of times I've used it. People seem to appreciate the interest and opportunity to share a little about themselves. Which brings us perfectly to share what you know and ask questions. Okay, let's say you asked the opener and they responded with where they're from originally. Now you've got to keep the conversation going. This is where you pull from any knowledge you might have about their background and follow it up with a question. For example, I once met a taxi driver from Burkina Faso. When he told me that, I said, "Oh wow, I've heard people in Burkina Faso are some of the friendliest. Is that true?" See what I did there? I acknowledged something I knew about their place of origin, but then asked him if that knowledge was accurate from his perspective. It gives him the chance to confirm, deny, or elaborate. This serves two purposes. First, it shows I have at least a basic level of awareness about his culture and homeland. Most people appreciate when others make an effort to understand where they're coming from. Secondly, it invites them to share more details and keep the conversation flowing. But be careful. Sometimes you might know a stereotype or rumor that could be considered offensive if stated the wrong way. The key here is to make these kinds of comments from a place of genuine interest, not an attempt at being provocative or edgy. You're aiming to learn about their culture and background. This third step is crucial. You can share any relevant knowledge about their background and use it as a springboard to ask follow-up questions that allow them to elaborate. This builds a rapport and keeps the conversation engaging. You can then steer it toward other topics like their job, opinions on your current location, or other areas of mutual interest. It allows you to determine if you actually vibe well with this new person and could potentially become friends. If so, you move on to the invitation. If you've made it this far and decide you genuinely enjoy conversing with this stranger, it's time to see if the feeling is mutual. Propose hanging out further by inviting them to join you for drinks, dinner, or some other casual activity fitting for your location. For example, you could say, "You seem like a really cool person, would you maybe want to grab a coffee or lunch together sometime this week?" Or if you're already out at night, you could invite them to join you for a drink. Just phrase it in a casual, friendly way. Don't get discouraged if they decline the invitation. There could be any number of reasons: prior commitments, personal rules about not going places alone with strangers, etc. If they do say no, just smile, say no problem, and wish them a nice rest of their day. But if they accept, you're one step away from making a brand new friend, which brings us to the last but not least important. Use their name. Supposing your new friend does accept your invitation to hang out again soon. When you arrive for your follow-up meetup, be sure to use their name at least once while greeting them. Using someone's name shortly after meeting them shows that you actually paid attention and committed it to memory. It's a subtle psychological trick that makes people feel validated and important. Like, wow, this new person really did listen when I told them my name. They didn't just forget it immediately after we first met. And that's it. That's the full 5-step process you can use to meet new people and cultivate genuine friendships no matter where you are in the world. It allows you to casually strike up conversations, flirt with the line between bold and appropriate just enough to be intriguing, and capitalize on any rapport you develop. Will it work 100% of the time? Of course not. Nothing in life has that kind of success rate. But I can tell you from personal experience that consistently following these steps leads to far more rewarding encounters and connections than just putting yourself out there haphazardly. The beauty is that you can deploy this method anywhere there are other people. Travel destinations, meetup events, lines, public transit, you name it. Any place where strangers naturally cross paths becomes an opportunity to grow your social circle. At its core, this 5-step method is really just an advanced way of making small talk and branching off into deeper dialogue. Too often we underestimate the value of a lighthearted chit-chat as merely polite time filler, rather than a potential gateway to something more meaningful. So if you struggle with shyness, feeling alone after arriving somewhere new, or just want to be better about putting yourself out there, give this 5-step system an honest try. Follow it with a positive mindset and you're virtually guaranteed to make some new friends. The hardest step is always the first. Opening your mouth to engage someone you don't know. But trust me, it gets easier every time you employ this technique. Making friends as an adult admittedly takes effort, but it can be immensely rewarding. With the proper mindset and techniques, you can surround yourself with an energizing social circle no matter where life finds you. All it takes is the courage to initiate conversations, the empathy to engage people as they are, and the openness to transform small talk into big connections over time. So give it a try the next time you're traveling or standing in a line somewhere. You might be surprised who you meet. What are your strategies for talking to new people? Let us know in the comments section. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up, and for more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. To learn more about other interesting topics, be sure to check out our other videos. Until next time, thanks for watching.